Ladies and gentlemen, I want to station with the Attitude Super Duper Morning Show. We got Claudia Camper, aka Torcha, here with us in the building. Candidate number 2 on the Nation Opportunity Wealth Party, the now party that will be contesting the upcoming snap elections on August 19th. Good morning, Bugs. How you doing?
I am doing well, Super. You know, when the big boys roll, the big talks can come.
All right, so let's get into it. We got lots to talk about in a little time. So let's get right into it. First, GB Containers, they're here.
Yeah.
So they're here. So
yeah.
we saw
happy
the
for that
from GEPE. You've asked and you've been asking this question though. Like you said, you're happy that they're here. You're happy that they.
But what now?
But what now? Right.
Exactly.
Yes.
I want to stick to that because I don't agree with the short term that the presentation was made in Parliament. I went through it again to make sure that I was on the right track with my trend of thought, and I'm correct. Mm-hmm. The short term is they want to lease to purchase 20 megawatts of diesel engines again and a payoff period of 3 years. Mm-hmm. And I'm saying, but if you want to find 20 megawatt that you're going to buy lease to purchase, why don't you start with a solar program? Mm-hmm. Why don't you start the waste to energy program? I mean, I don't understand why we are not doing that. And then when you look at the long term, it is 3 engines of 9 megawatt each for $42 million. And I'm saying, this is crazy. Right. At least I know in their resources, they said, well, funding was going to be either a consortium of businesses, institutions that lend, for example, banks or APS or whatever, or the BZCAT. BZCAT told them up front, absolutely not. Right. You're not getting $1 from us unless it is alternative energy. Mm-hmm. That's what the CRUI funds is for and all those type of things. So I hope that I understand we have an emergency situation, a crisis, so I support bringing in these generators. Mm-hmm. Leave them here a little longer. Leave them here for a year if need be, that you can set up the medium term differently, where solar, wind, alternative energy, hydrogen is happening now in Curacao. Mm-hmm. They're doing it in Curacao. There's a project where hydrogen energy is being produced, and then they're going to see if they can even store it and send it up to Holland.
Ah, okay.
All for carbon credits. Mm-hmm. So you see, we need people that understand this material and can think along with those that are selling you. You don't want to buy a cat in the bag. Mm. And I think right now with these diesel engines, we are getting ourselves in an awkward situation because these engines have a lifespan of 20 years. And that's exactly what the fuel suppliers want. Mm. That you're buying stuff for the next 20 years, you can't just discard it next year.
Yeah. What is another topic that you want to touch on? I know there was something recently that was posted on Facebook where it comes, I think a company was asking, they put a criteria. They was looking for an employee
in the water sports.
Right.
And I think it was the candidate from the NA Etzel that brought it to light that ad. Yeah. This problem has been ongoing for years. We have been speaking about it, and I spoke about it, I think it was 6 months ago, and now it's resurfacing. You're getting a lot of people in the timeshare business that are locals, that are forced to pay taxes and premiums and all of that. They're being forced out because the American is walking in here. The hotels are giving them the work. Mm-hmm. These people are using the Dutch-American treaty where they don't need a work permit and they just need to register that they are on island.
Right.
But they don't pay taxes, and that the treaty doesn't say. The treaty says you pay taxes. I think the treaty is being abused, personally. I think a lot of Sint Maarteners, I know of a few of them that I have spoken to now. Up to yesterday, I spoke to a young lady that is so frustrated that has decided, well, she's going to look for a job in another country because in her own country, we are not allowing them to make it. This is crazy, Super. I mean, listen, I don't have a problem with competition, but unfair competition is a different story. Any American set foot in this country to work must pay. Mm-hmm. They must pay their taxes. And this nonsense about I come for 3 months, then I go back out to Anguilla for a day and come again so that I'm not tax compliant is nonsense. The businesses should be held free too.
Absolutely.
Because it is an abuse of a practice.
And does it work vice versa? Can we go to the United States and
absolutely
and get the
not.
treatment?
Absolutely, because this is a one-way treaty, and I think this treaty was back in 1954 when we had the water note in Holland, where Holland needed to boost up its economy, and that's when this treaty came into effect. There was no country Sint Maarten then, country Netherlands until he started it.
Right.
And You had Lago came into Aruba, for example. Shell went into were in Curacao, so they could have used those people to work, but not Sint Maarten. Sint Maarten became big in the 70s with hotels and so, and then we grew out. But now, where you are struggling to keep your own people at work,
Right.
we are allowing this to happen. Now, this has a very negative effect also on other parts of your economy. Think on your housing. These people can pay much more money because they ain't paying taxes, while the local got to pay taxes, so they have less money to put into your economy. These people, they don't even put money into your economy. They might eat on a French side, and that don't help me at all.
Right, right. So how can this treaty be amended or fixed or whatever to work in
A
our
treaty
favor?
is above our constitution. So we need people that understand what we are talking about. You need to go to Holland. You have to get Holland to sit with America. It was their treaty, not ours. Because we are part of the kingdom, we are not a sovereign state. So we can't just make treaties and sign off on treaties. You can't send a little boy, a little girl up there to do it. You need people that understand this and seriously can deal with this matter. We have people in this country that are well versed that can do this,
Right.
but the ones that we had were not. And the issues are clear. You can notice on certain levels, we just sign because we panic. We don't sign, we don't negotiate. Look at the whole Inya thing now unfolding in Parliament.
Yeah.
You know, this shows you that while they might have the right intentions, their inability to withstand some stress and pressure has put them and put this country in a position of we go always succumb to outside pressures because we're not prepared to stand up and maybe just drink water and don't eat for a day. You know, we're going to have to make some tough choices when we want to make a tough stance. And if your population can afford to do that, then we should consider doing that.
Yeah. Speaking about the tough decisions, you sounded the alarm also when it comes to the whole NRPV situation and local contractors, them not getting the job, NRPB outsourcing it to outsiders. That was a big topic last week as well.
Yes.
That you sounded the alarm.
Well, I was more upset. And, you know, when I get upset, sometimes I speak very loud. And I call out people by their names. I don't play and say, oh, it's the director. No, I don't call you out by your name. I need people to understand that when you're walking down the street smiling with us, I don't know what's behind that smile. I have a problem, Super, that we have subjected ourselves as country Sint Maarten because the NRPB is executing a contract that was signed by the Leona Marlin government and is up until today being extended, and the last time it was extended, or the two last time it was under the Jacobs cabinet. In 2022, the 4 years came to an end, and they asked for 2 more years. They got it to 2024, and now they asked for 2 more years again, and they got it again to 2026, and now they're talking already about 2027. The problem is this: the procurement that the World Bank executes is an international procurement. And I think there are a handful of companies in Sint Maarten, maybe 2 or 3, maybe even 4, that can participate because they don't qualify. The local boys don't qualify. They just simply can't cut that grade. And I'm saying I have an issue with that particular problem.
Yeah.
Why? Because if you set the bar so high that the locals can't participate, then the money that was sent from the trust fund, which was not only to rebuild us resiliently, but also to stimulate the economy.
Right.
You're not stimulating the economy because the money gone. Those fellas that come here to build, they come here to make money. They didn't come here to spend it in Sint Maarten. They come here to work, do it, and get out of here.
Right.
I just saw they had another one there with the building of Sister Marie Laurent School. $9 million. 2 foreign companies alone. The local companies didn't even bid because some of them won't work, and they're afraid now if they bid and they can't comply, they can't compete for 5 years on any projects from the World Bank.
Right.
So you see, they too have to strategically bid now, and I'm saying open the bids so we all can participate. Maybe chop up the bid, chop it up, but do something that the local contractors can eat.
Right.
I keep hearing us talk about, oh, we're going to do procurement and we're going to make a procurement law. Means absolutely nothing because the World Bank, their procurement law trumps our local law. We signed on to that.
So when you say chop it up, you mean like Some companies locally could do the roof, others
Exactly.
would do.
Look, it has to do with responsibility. Who carries the responsibility and the risk? And maybe the government of Sint Maarten said, well, you know what? We will stand guarantor. While you are going to do the foundation, you will handle all the doors and windows. You will handle the
Lighting,
interior.
electric,
And exactly. You can share it up. We can put it under one contractor and then share it up with 5, 6, 7, 8 local contractors. You know, if you don't do that, you're not going to give them work. It's the same thing I did many years ago. We had 4 big haulers, used to do everything on the island. We chopped it up. We created 8 hauling contracts and 13 district cleaning contracts, roadsides, and we went from 4 to 21 contracts. And everybody can say what they want. But today, that's the system we're using. Why? Because more people get work. And if more people can get work, more people can eat.
Right, absolutely. Let's talk about, this definitely had the social media, headlines, media, everybody basically just, running with this story. And also they discussed it in Parliament, I believe it was on Friday, the rise in crime and gun violence as well. I know the Minister of Justice spoke in Parliament talking about the lack of funds to help with the capacity and to fight crime and gun violence as well.
2 things. This is my personal position. This is not the NO's position because I haven't discussed it with them. Gun violence is not something new to Sint Maarten. What has happened is throughout the Caribbean, look at Anguilla, right next door, what, 5, 7 murders already?
Within the last 2 weeks, I would say.
Exactly. There is a serious rise in violence, gun violence among young people. What the wars are all about, I don't know. But there seems to be a serious surge in all these English-speaking countries in the Caribbean.
Right.
I can't talk for Martinique and Guadeloupe because I don't understand the French so good, so I don't follow the news there too much. But we need to understand what's causing it, because it cannot just be a social poverty problem. I don't believe that. I believe this is more a respect issue, a territory issue, where we had this back in the 80s and 90s, the Bloods and the Cribs in New York, LA. They were killing each other because of who could walk on that street or who could come in this neighborhood. And that is taking serious form in Sint Maarten. A lot of us don't understand gang language. We don't understand gang colors. But those in the police station, they do. I've seen Inspector Richards give a few discussions in community councils where he showed the different gang colors, the bandanas, the way they do it. You know, you even can look at gang fights between the little children in school. When they jump in, look for certain colors on them, because that's which group is involved. You see signals. But how do you deal with this? Because you can put more police on the road, you can buy more cars, and the crime fund had money, there was budgeted money to buy the cars. The last minister opted not to do that. Don't ask me why. But we need more police officers. That is factual. But the police officers that you bring, if you bring them from abroad for a period of time, need to be what we call in Dutch ingeburgerd. They need to understand. This is not Holland. This is not Suriname. This is not Aruba. This is not Curacao. You got to understand the culture you're dealing with, because things that are acceptable in your country might not be acceptable here, and trigger behavioral problems very fast. You have to also understand the social issues in this country and the mental issues, because we got a lot of people that have been mentally stressed since 2017, and they're not seeing the light at the tunnel yet. So pick up a gun and do what I gotta do. Hey, I'm living for today, not for tomorrow. And I think that behavior we need to change. We really need to change it.
Another big topic, of course, we're gonna have to talk about it. The shooting that took place that involved OMC leader Olivier Arundel, which unfortunately claimed the life of his wife and also injured some others as well. It was also discussed in Parliament on Friday, and the famous line came out: when you play with puppy, you get licked, or you're bound to get licked, or something like that. And a lot of people were listening to the meeting, and they pointed out also that even though the event of was unfortunate, certain people and certain parties kind of created this situation, created this quote unquote monster, where they met with him with dinners, they invited him into the homes. People even pointed towards the Now Party, saying that he endorsed two candidates, brought them along to the Now Party. So we are the ones that created this environment that we're in now. You being a part of the Now Party, what would you have to say to those claims and statements?
I cannot talk for other people.
Mm-hmm.
Let me talk for Ben Camper as deputy leader of the Now. I have stated it on more than one occasion that Mr. Arundel was never a member of our party.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Arundel, as a citizen, has the right to endorse anybody. He endorsed them as Olivier Arundel. He didn't endorse them as no management, no member. No. There is one leader, that is Christopher Emmanuel. There's one deputy leader, that's Claudius Camper. Mm-hmm. And whomever, anybody, if you wanted to endorse me tomorrow and something I become something that doesn't make you my problem, or you the fault of me. No, I think again, to regards of what happened, I expressed our condolences. I am not going to give an opinion on what all went down because I don't know. I'm not the police, and there's an investigation ongoing, and I don't want to impede that. I think we should just take our time, stop sensationalizing this issue, looking for any sort of political mileage. A person was killed. I think we have to stand still a minute at that issue and see how do we deal with that. Because people get frightened and say, but I ain't going to vote because imagine got retaliation at the polls. And I'm saying this is the wrong message that's coming out. Sint Maarten is a safe country. Every country has problems with crime. The borders are not well protected, so a lot of stuff could come in. Customs does their utmost with the limited resources they have to protect our borders. I thought we had an agreement with the Dutch for border control, but I don't really see that. I see them more sitting at the airport, checking passports instead of being outside with us. I know the Coast Guard does what they can, but remember, we have an open border with the French side. We have no control what happens over there or what comes in over there and how easily it can come over to our side or vice versa. Because I don't want to blame them either for not doing their job. But the amount of guns coming into this country, the amount of drugs coming into this country is beyond proportion. I understand it's going to happen, but the way it's happening here, I am nearly convinced that they might have 5,000 guns floating on this island in a population of 60,000 people. That's 1 in 12.
Yeah.
Of every 12 people, somebody got a gun. And the former minister don't want to issue no gun licenses to people that have been in public life for a long time. I was one of them. I was rejected. I don't need it because I was a suspended parliamentarian. And I'm saying, but my job for the past 20 years, 25 years was to go and knock down the houses or the illegal buildings. Those people don't forget you.
Right.
But, some people are just vengeful because you don't play their line. Businessmen in Sint Maarten are going to arm themselves if the police gives them permission or not. If the minister giving them permission or not, they are not going to wait to be violently robbed and killed so somebody could go and shed a crocodile tear in church. That is not what this country is about. In the States, I don't agree with the way it happens, but I understand sometimes when you see what's happening here, when you see what's happening in Anguilla, look at St. Kitts, look at Antigua, the violence is very serious. And then social media opens Pandora's box. When you go behind a fake profile, I know where you live, or coming for you. And what going to do? Go to the police and ask the police what? They ain't even got people to guard the streets. You think they got enough people to fight crime? No. Because of what happened, a lot of cybercrime experts are in here, and they're going to flush out Facebook, flush out face accounts, these fake accounts, and they're going to get to people. People going to get a visit that they didn't expect, because people don't understand that IP addresses can be any place, but the pings are not any place. Right. Your phone carries a specific code also. So there are things that, if you didn't know, I just told you some of the things. Throw away your phone. Stop doing the nonsense you're doing because you're going to get yourself in trouble.
Right. Yeah. So, like you said, the situation that happened was tragic.
Very tragic.
But there has to be things done even way before this incident happened, because we've been seeing, the signs for sure.
Look, we have had a lot of more murders before this last one. And nobody was really speaking out. So I don't want it to be as if one murder is more important than another one. I want to take away from that thought, because every life lost is one life too much. I don't believe in taking anybody's life. God gave you life, God will take your life when the time is right. But anything else, look, accidents, I understand, that can happen. But this was not an accident. So I don't want to delve into it, because I had promised myself I'm not going to speak about it. I think the police should do their job, and once that comes out, then we all know, what really happened and who's at fault.
Yeah. Before you leave, one more thing that we spoke about last week, but we didn't get a chance to get into, one of the laws that you were working on, one of the many laws that you were working on, and you said you're very, very close to it, was the animal law or something like that. Yeah. Tell me, let's get a little bit more details on what that law is about.
We have an animal law. Our animal law, though, is not as elaborate as, for example, Aruba or Curacao. Curacao has an extremely elaborate animal welfare law and care. Because what we forget is people tie dogs on a chain in the hot sun, no water. That's a crime. That's a crime. You should be punished for it. And what we have is, you get a 300 guilder fine or 50 guilder fine. No. There should be more than that. So the aspects that we have to look at a little bit is, how do you enforce the law, first of all? And secondly, how do you strengthen the law? So that's where we went. I met with Sint Maarten paws, veterinarians, other animal lovers organization. We came together and we worked on the law. We made a proposal. I had a law firm in Curacao that worked the Curacao law into the Sint Maarten law, because we don't have an animal ambulance, we don't have certain things, so you can't put something in the law that you don't have, because then you can be held liable for not being able to deliver the service as a government.
Right. And
we prepared it in such a way that we can deal with it, because you also have certain things in the law that you have to be careful with. How do you deal with the overload of monkeys? How do you deal with overload of iguanas? Because they too do a very serious damage to your economy.
Right.
But we shouldn't be in the business of liquidating or euthanasia. We are saying, okay, what can we do and how can we do this? I saw a great video from Pic de Paradis with all those monkeys.
Right.
So maybe we should discuss with Lottery Farm as government, how can we help you all maintain a safe
like
monkey sanctuary.
Right, yeah.
Yes, but you're going to have to do some spading, because sterilization going to have to because monkeys, they multiply very fast.
Right.
So we're going to have to see how you can do this, how much money is involved, how, where do we go, how do we go. Those things need to be discussed. They can still roam in their free place and location, but it has to be controlled
right.
at all times. So these are the things we are looking at a little bit, but we also need a pound in Sint Maarten. We don't have one. Now, the zoo is something we have been looking at, and I have been discussing it. If we can take that building, because that land is government land. The zoo has not been in operation, I believe, for the last 15 years, at least. I think after Lewis, they took a hit so hard that they lost most of the animals. They tried a little something, but they couldn't survive. And I'm saying, okay, maybe let's get the different. You have animal welfare, you have Sint Maarten paws, you have a few of them. Let's bring them together. Let's see if we can take the zoo, get money, fix it up, and house animals, stray animals that we pick up on the road. And instead of putting them down, spay them, fix them. I'm sure people will adopt the animals. I know Sint Maarten paws sends off 100, 150 animals every year to new homes in the States, in Canada. So you don't have to put down the animal. Let's find a solution, because I always tell them the social fabric of a country is very often measured on how you treat an animal. So because we just often throw those things on the side and we don't worry with it. But we have a lot of tourists that come here, they see it. In their country, this is not normal. So they're going to say, well, what kind of people these are? We say we're a friendly island, but you got market dogs walking all over the place, dogs on chains in the hot sun. These are things we should stop. No better, do better. And I hope it's something, as soon as I get back into Parliament, because Parliament has a rule that if you are not there or your party is not there, that law is stuck.
Yeah.
And I hope to be back. It is my law, different party, but it's my law, so I can pick it up and move it again, hand it in, start debating it, defending it, and hopefully passing it.
All right, Claudius Bencape here with us, candidate number 2 on the nation opportunity. But there we go.
Yeah.
The Now Party, who will be contesting the upcoming snap elections. I know we're running out of time, but you're going to be back next week. Every Monday, you're scheduled to be here at 9:15 until elections. Any last message that you have for the people listening out there?
Yes, I am going to be discussing the SFV and the DMS, that's the Directors, Medical Services. That issue, I'm going to really touch it because I think people need to understand that there's something wrong someplace. SFV asks to go up to 10,000 guilders. So if you want to go up to 10,000 guilders to collect all those premiums, 1,500 or 2,000 more people were insured, those people are sometimes directors of their own companies.
Right.
Now suddenly they can't get medical insurance. They're not, so even that they're not over the threshold I understand, but they're under the threshold. What about
because of a position?
because they own 50% or more of the company, or they influence 50% or more of the votes through family,
Right.
they can't be insured and their family can't be insured. You're creating a whole different playing field for them to do business, because now they got to go and look for a private business which will easily be $1,000+ for a family per month. So I'm saying we got to look at this differently, because something ain't jiving. So all the bus drivers, all the taxi drivers, all the vendors, all these people are sole proprietorships. That means they own their business 100%.
Right.
And we spoke of a national health insurance, NHI, what was FEMA, FASA? I can't remember.
Hartley Cares.
Hartley Care, yeah, he likes that one. It's Obamacare, not Hartley, but okay. My thing is this. If we were going to protect our people, then we cannot, in our right mind, allow since September 2022 to implement this. And then how do we protect? So all the people who were there before, okay, or you can stay.
Yeah.
No, that's discrimination. Because the new law says you can't get it. Oh, but Bangambe, you were there before, you can keep it.
Just keep it,
No. I am a sole proprietor just like you. The law is always say you can't go back and punish somebody. But they don't say you can go back and favor somebody and the other one you're going to punish now.
Right.
And this is what I want to discuss. This is what I want to really delve into and get a legal perspective on it, because I don't believe Sint Maarten is being treated fairly when it comes to that.
All right. Thank you very much, Toncho, for joining us here at the Super Duper Morning Show. I'll see you back next week. Question of the day before you leave, and I think I know the answer to this question already for you. What would you do to this room in your house? I'm going to show you the picture. You see the room?
Yeah.
So what would you do to that? If this room was in your house, what would you do to it? What would you turn it into?
I'd put my family pictures in there, so when I go in there, I can really see where I come from.
Okay. I thought you were going to turn it into your podcast room, but
No man. I use any place for that. But no, a place like that, that's like a sanctuary.
Right.
You go in there and you can see where you come from, your family, you know, because very often when you put them all over the house, you lose them.
True.
Eventually you lose. Oh, yeah, man, look at that one from my uncle. I look from a good friend. You put them in there,
All in
and
one place.
whenever you go in there, you say, this is my life.
even set it up like a nice little family tree
Yeah,
or something.
yeah, yeah.
That's a nice idea.
Yeah.
Think about that.
That's what I would do.
All right. Thank you, Bunks, for joining us. See you
All
next
right.
week. And not congratulations, but keep up the good work and much success on your campaign trail.
The congratulations is in place because I'm planning to win.
I'm speaking it into existence.
Yes, sir, you are.
Ladies and gentlemen, on the station with the attitude, we got birthdays coming up next.
Take care, man.